What's good, y'all? This is Let's Get It with Coach Los. I'm your host, Coach Los AC, certified life and relationship coach that helps people fix or find the relationships they want. And this podcast covers the best relationship advice, tools, and action steps to get the results you want in your personal, professional, and of course, love life. So I hope you get a lot of value from the episode. And if you do, as always, remember to like and subscribe so you can be notified when I drop new episodes. Let's get it. You have to really give yourself a reason to be positive in your relationship. And I say that because rule number one for you being able to foster and maintain a healthy relationship or rebuild one, right? Get through the conflicts, resolve the issues is a positive state of mind. State is everything. And more often than not, we give ourselves reasons without seeing it this way. We don't consciously do this, but subconsciously we give ourselves reasons to be negative towards our relationship. And why? Because usually the negative thoughts are associated with a fear, a concern we have, something we don't want to happen, something we are worried about and want to avoid. And your brain is pre-designed and wired to focus on the negative and the fear-based things because those are the things that can harm you in nature, right? In a primal way. So we're more inclined to subconsciously start to think on a negative track towards our relationship when there's issues going on or issues at hand than we are to try to think more in a positive lane and stay optimistic, because we feel on a subconscious level, if I'm focusing too much on just trying to be positive, then I'm not being aware of the negative, the potentially harmful thing that can get me a bad result. And this is where self-mastery of ourselves has to come in, because that primal wiring, that survival wiring is always going to default you to focusing on the negative and then build narratives around the negative to make sure you can keep your eye on the problem. But the more you keep focusing on the problem, you can't focus on the solution. So the self-mastery is not negating that there's some negative things going on that needs to be addressed. The self-mastery is recognizing those problems are there, but choosing to put yourself in a positive state to deal with, navigate, and approach those problems in a more constructive mind state. Because the state you're in dictates the energy base you're coming from. It dictates the frequency that you're on, whether it's a positive or a negative one. And the frequency that you're on starts to dictate your physiology, right? How your body responds. And your body is heavily tied to your nervous system. The nervous system runs through your whole body. And that is where your emotional system is tethered to, right? When you feel something, your nervous system moves you into action in respect to what you're feeling in a reactionary way. It's pre-programmed from all the subconscious conditioning that you do for yourself. So the more you choose, and I say choose because you being positive or negative in a situation is a matter of choice, right? But the more you consciously choose to be negative towards a situation, towards resolving issues in your relationship, the more you consistently do that pattern, you build a habit into your subconscious to where now your nervous system locks in with that. And whenever any sad situation comes up, your natural reaction, like a reflex, you're not even thinking consciously about it anymore, is to approach that situation from a negative energy base. So you have to find reasons to be positive in a situation that may not feel so positive, may feel very negative, because that's the only energy base that's going to actually get you and your partner through the issues you're dealing with, right? It's the very reason why when one partner is trying to be optimistic and be more positive and work on the relationship, maybe go and seek out to get help and everything else, and the other partner's like, nah, I'm not doing any of that, and they're just being negative, the relationship winds up crumbling, right? Because the partner that's being negative all the time is self-sabotaging the potential outcome of things being positive, of you guys being able to work through the differences. Or maybe both people are fighting each other all the time, being negative towards each other, right? You know, you did this and I reacted to it and I did that because you did that, or whatever, the chicken and the egg analogy. It's where we start fighting negativity with negativity. What's right and what's wrong are always equally available to you at the same time. Which one of those you focus on is a matter of choice. It becomes the difference between a scenario to where maybe you go to your partner to voice your concerns and express your feelings about something that you're not feeling so good about in the relationship. And it turns into a blow up, right? And they seemingly dismiss your emotions, your feelings, and they kind of like walk off. And your takeaway from it is, see, here's another example as why they don't care about me, why they don't, show any concern for my feelings and how I feel about the things they do. So when you're looking at the negative outcome of it, and that might be accurate, but what you didn't look at is the fact that your partner, even though they struggle to understand you, they keep coming back to have that conversation over and over again. They keep trying to go through it with you. They keep trying to hear you out. Maybe they're not doing a good job at listening. Maybe they have some tools they need to learn to effectively get through the conversation with you to where you both feel like it was productive, but they do keep showing up to try. But you can't focus on that positive side of it because you're too focused on the outcome you're getting that still feels negative or unpleasant. If you and your partner both consistently gave yourselves reasons to be positive in your relationship, despite all the negative things, you'll wind up creating better reasons and ways of resolving your conflicts together to get through your issues, and it would change everything. And even if it's just you finding reasons to be positive in your relationship and not focusing on the negative, but your partner's still being negative and they can't do the same thing, then you still learn that, hey, I've done everything I can to be optimistic and breathe life into the relationship instead of taking away from it. And you start to learn that you can't get to that finish line with your partner because they're not able to offer the same positive outlook as you to help you get to a peaceful solution. And so now you know it's time to move on. Either way, you're going to get a more serving result. If you need help learning the tools to see the positive in your relationship so you can be a contribution to the solutions and not a hindrance, email or DM me coaching, and we will get to work if you're truly ready to put the work in. Let's get it.